That's just a 1-2 punch right there, Ashley.
Cross over the Atlantic.
Well, it gets a first-class ticket, I believe, and then, yeah.
No, it absolutely does, and that ends up creating what we call a hurricane graveyard, as that dust kind of sucks moisture out from above the ocean when we get into the season. So if there's any silver lining, hopefully that'll reduce the number of hurricanes in the Atlantic. But let's bring it back close to home, because air quality right now, at least in our region, poor due to the wildfire smoke. And you can see that it's certainly worse as you get north and west of Milwaukee. Pretty much sandwiched between Milwaukee and Minneapolis is where there is the worst pollutants from the smoke. But here across lower Michigan, we're looking at moderate levels of pollutants, and that's pretty substantial. Usually through the overnight, we start to see a little bit of a reprieve, but given that we were really mild overnight, we still have very thick smoke layer, and so that's why we're dealing with the poor air quality for today. But that smoke layer thick across all of southeastern Michigan, so that's going to filter out the sunshine once again, and then we'll have clouds rolling in with some rain chances going into the afternoon. But sitting at 70 over at Metro Airport, 67 in Ann Arbor, 71 in Howell, 68 in Port Huron. Southerly winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And so temperature change right now, anywhere from about 5 to upward of 20 degrees warmer. I mean, substantially warmer in Lapeer by 24 degrees from just 24 hours ago. So you notice the difference as you step outside. And we'll also see that humidity rise a little bit today. That's going to clash with the cold front. But in the meantime, you start to see more of that filtered sunshine with sunrise at 5:58 and then sunset at 9:06 tonight. Your forecast planner, hazy sunshine will be replaced with some afternoon storms. We're also breezy, maybe 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts before we were even talking about stronger wind gusts within potential storms. And so the window for severe weather will be about 2 to 9 o'clock, but I'm going to break that down in further detail in a moment. Current wind gusts are about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and you start to see those winds pick up a little bit as we head through midday. Now, Exact Track 4D is showing you where that cold front is, line of showers just behind it, and that will be tracking into our region this afternoon. So here's that hour-by-hour look as the showers are a little spotty that are preceding the front by the time we get to 1 o'clock this afternoon, so I won't rule out a stray little shower or two, but the bulk of the rain will pick up after 2. 5 o'clock still looking pretty scattered, but latest data coming in, pulling in more of those scattered storms, probably closer to about 6, 7 o'clock, and we will hold on to the rain even beyond the window of the severe threat as we go into tomorrow morning. Still, some heavier downpours can't be ruled out. It's not going to be until midday Thursday that we start to dry things out. So damaging wind gusts, hail, primary threats on the table if we were to see some of those storms reach severe limits later on this afternoon. But the rain will help with our air quality, but that smoke forecast will be building back in as we head into the later part of your Thursday potentially, and then we could see a little bit more for the second half of the weekend. Clouds and radar forecast. So I started it on Thursday to show you that by noon Thursday, all of that is out of here. That's why I think you could see a little bit more of that smoke creep in. But then Friday, we're tracking rain again. So 5 a.m. Friday, some showers, especially down to our south. And then once we get to about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think a lot of that's out of here. So if you have Friday afternoon, evening plans, don't, scrap them right now, as I think that we'll have some drier conditions building in, and that's going to take us into the weekend. Upper 70s for your Saturday and Sunday, so seasonal weekend with some storm chances as we go into early next week. That is your full forecast.